Let's just get settled into a nice, comfortable seated posture, and I will start the practice. So just align yourselves as best you can, lengthen the spine, shoulders over the hips and the ears align with the shoulders, and imagine your spine is this beautiful string of light, pearls of light. And then just relax your whole body. Just notice the sensations. Notice the sensations of the breathing. Trying not to investigate all the sounds around you. And bringing to mind all these people of your life. Remembering they are interchangeable, these relationships. Remember, they're all equal. They wish to be happy. They wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for this enlightened mind. So we'll dedicate this evening for Kalden Sering, for his sister, for his family, and for the whole community down there, down in Medicine Buddha in Santa Cruz. So think, there is no negativity that can't be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change that and create positivity instead. And so we start with this power of regret. So we sincerely regret from the depths of our hearts anything that we have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we are necessarily needing the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of the two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. This is by developing a wish for them to be free from suffering. So think particularly of someone you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and because of the harm they've caused you, they're going to suffer sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing. And, Rinpoche used to talk about it overflowing quite forcefully, so enough to blow a hat off the top of your head. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And next is this purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. So imagine, you walk into a room, you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So you imagine here the same. All the light comes from Vajrasattva's heart, hits your heart chakra, and immediately all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachments and neediness, bitterness, grudges, anxiety, depression, all of this, and resentments, jealousy, all instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Drita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitrokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So think that there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is this purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So here we're working at a much more subtle level. So imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately again sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So now feel that you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And so now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind, to refrain from harming, or even to develop a wish to do that. So, without making this wish, with this decision, without having this kind of aspiration or this even idea in our mind, we're just going to keep being very unconscious with our body and our speech and our mind. So, a lot of the time, the whole idea of this practice for me is developing awareness, observation of ourselves. So, we can all be a little bit more conscious and try and make sure that our words, our actions, our thoughts aren't harming either ourselves or others. So rejoice in your efforts coming along tonight. And just think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. And think, Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Lama Zopa Rinpoche used to recommend to meditate on emptiness. And in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So the way you think about things, we're often quite wrong in how we perceive something or this idea or opinion we might have about something. It may not be that. So it's always good to have just a little bit of a question in our mind as to whether something is actually real or not. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we have created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so let's just do our 3 of our little verses. He is the noble Sattva, Vajrasattva, the Vajra's sovereign lord, the highest bliss, the Vajra's wrathfulness, the highest joy, intoning hums of Vajra Humkara, with Vajra arrows serving as his weapon, his sword comprised of Vajras slashing all, upholding every Vajra, Vajra bearing, with just a single Vajra, ending strife, with eyes like Vajra fire, truly dreadful, with hair that's like a Vajra set ablaze, immersion of the Vajra, great immersion, with eyes like Vajras, eyes 100-fold. All right, everybody, let's have a strong wish for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and also the long lives and health and happiness of your own teachers. And again, let's just turn our minds to Kalden Tsering and his family, particularly his sister, his mother, his father, and all of their relatives and their community. So may Kalden Tsering have either a rebirth as a precious human rebirth or a rebirth in a pure realm. Okay. Lots of love, everybody. Amy, thank you for reminding me. And do take care. So I think maybe if everyone doesn't mind, we'll do Medicine Buddha tomorrow morning, if that works for everyone. We'll do it with Kalden in mind. Okay. All right, everyone. Lots of love. Bye.
Thank you.